Hello, we are back with the Kid Onk Age Play podcast. This is both an Age Play podcast and a Fet Vlog episode. Um, Today's episode is going to have two topics instead of three. It's a two-topicer. Another thing is that we're going to be the first thing I'm going to discuss is something in particular. It has to do with a comment that happened in a conversation, and I really want to discuss something. The second part of the episode is about future episodes, where the podcast is going and where I'm seeing the channel going in a while, and on a future project that I am working on. Okay. Let's do this. Let's start with the topic that I was formerly talking about, the former here. A comment was made to me a couple of weeks ago. I was doing an interview for a future podcast episode, and I had a conversation with this person at the end, and the comment that was made was, when I first joined the community, I told a friend of mine, and her response to me was, "Are you sure you want to join that community? That community is known for eating its own." I heard this comment, and I immediately thought, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. No, this community does not eat its own. That's ridiculous. That's a very nihilistic view of the community. Then I started to wonder about that. Was it? Is it? Is it really? Is it really a nihilistic view? Is it actually a view of the community that is unpopular or untrue? I had to think about it. I've been in this community 12 years. 12 and a half, actually. Officially now, 12 and a half. We're going on 13. I've seen a lot of shit. From the 12 years that I started, I've seen To Kill a Mockingbird incidents. I've seen racism. I've seen neo-Nazi pushing white supremacy. I've seen a lot of different shit. I've seen a lot of negative shit in this community. I've seen petty shit, wars about what's better, non-sexual or sexual age play, how one side is evil and the other side is good. I've seen random shit about how sex workers shouldn't actually be doing ABDL content if they're not really ABDL. That is actually something that was being pushed by the community back in 2011 and into 2012. Yes, that is a real fucking thing. That is a real motherfucking comment made by this community. That is a real fucking comment made by this community. A matter of fact, it was not 2011. It was 2012. And it was during the early days of me joining the community. 2012, 2013. And it was something that was major because I can't remember who it was. I believe it was the one guy that did this old weird diaper porn a while ago. I think it was called Diaper Sluts for a while. I think that was the name of it. And the owner for that actually stated that he wanted to bring in he was bringing in models who weren't ABDL and letting them do shit. And then there was a whole conversation in the community about how come we can't actually get real ABDL. And some of the porn stars that are out there right now are some of the ones that made those comments years ago. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Oh, dear God, please. I hope that doesn't become my actual name in the community. Someone actually said that to me in Capcom. They were like, "Yo, your Pepperidge Farm remembers." Shit was hilarious. Getting back to what I was saying. I had to start thinking, how many wars did I see? How many instances of Kill the Witch have I watched? A lot. I've seen a lot. And when you contest some of this, people become angry and just bitter about some of this shit. Like, I had a friend tell me recently about, like, a negative view that some of the people that know me have. And I was like, are we still on this? Like, because I proved a point 5 or 6 years ago, we're still mad about that? Yep, because a lot of people can't get over it. And I'm like, that's stupid. But you have that. You have that. Let me ask a question, right? And this is a real fucking question that I have for those of you in this community. I have a real motherfucking question. Since you've been in the community, has your trauma healed? I know you think that this is a trick question. 100% I know you think this is a trick question. It's not. It is a legitimate one. Has your trauma healed? Tell the truth. Do you feel better? Do you feel like anything has fucking changed? Do you feel that the world and everything around you is better because of the fact that you are an AB? Do you feel that way? If your answer is no, then that should be enough for you. What would it take for you to feel healed? What would it take? What was it that you were trying to heal from? Was it abuse? Was it family issues? Was it hatred of a family member? What were you healing from? Again, I know you think this is a trick question. It's not. The reason why I'm asking this question, and the reason why I'm asking it in the way that I am, is because I know for a fact that a lot of these people have not healed. I know for a fact that a lot of you are still hurting. I know for a fact that a lot of people cannot let go. I had the same issue. There were some things that I had to deal with in my family life, in my life, that I never felt healed. I never felt better. I never felt like I grew. I felt like I'm in the same fucking place. Recently, I had an entire question on this. Why is a community that is supposed to be about healing trauma letting trauma define them? If you remove the trauma from some of the people in this community, right? If you remove it, who are they? When you actually think about it, some people are so defined by the trauma that they have gone through in the past that they have no personality. ABDL is the only thing for them. And outside of ABDL, it's gone. There's nothing. It's just emptiness. A void. Something that will never be filled. Why? Why is it like that? Answer it. Go ahead. I'll give you a chance. Give me an answer. Looking for the words, right? Yeah, I was too. Same problem. I couldn't answer that. I had no answer. We are supposed to be healing. And a lot of people in this community use their trauma as a weapon to attack other people. So where's the healing? Because the person that's using their trauma as a sword is not healing. And they're not helping the community either. How many times has people been like, if you don't join my side, that's it. You have to leave. You're banned. I will make sure that everyone hates you. How many times have you heard that? A lot. How many people make that comment? A lot. In this community, I have never once told you how to feel. And there's a reason why I haven't. Because I have no right to tell you how to feel. I have no right to tell you that you are right or wrong. I have no right to push my ideals onto you. That's never what it's been about. And if you have ever felt that way, I'm sorry. This podcast is always and will forever be about people making their choices. Even when I boycotted Little for Big, I never said for everyone else to do the same. Never once. I always tell people, don't follow me. Do what you feel is right. Do not follow me. The community did that on its own. I had nothing to do with it. However, there are so many in this community that are absolutely defined by trauma. Without that trauma, they are nobody. They have no personality. They don't even have a self of being. For those people, losing that trauma is the most detrimental thing to their self-worth. And a lot of these people will do and say things and start fights and start wars and hate this person, hunt these people down. For what? What good does it bring? Does it bring you any satisfaction? Does it fix that trauma that you've had? Does it make the whippings that you used to get from your abusive parents any less painful? Does it make you not relive those trauma-filled nights? Does it not make you relive? Does it end you reliving those really terrible times? Does it make you, as a person, feel better? Do you feel healed? What happens when you heal? Do you just leave the community? What happens? No one knows. No one knows. I am someone who was able to heal from the trauma that got me here, only to feel more trauma from the community that was supposed to heal me. How the fuck does that work? How the fuck does that happen? I heal from one trauma, only to have the thing that helped me heal from the trauma cause me more trauma? So is it a perpetual loop? Is that why we had these wars? Is because people felt empty and lost and didn't know where to go? Is that what it was? I'm not asking you for you to feel like I am attacking the community or attacking you personally, because that's not what it is. I am not talking about people. I'm talking about people in general, not a single person. But if you are starting to question shit, welcome to the boat. There's cookies and drinks in the corner. We also have, this boat also has high sea ecto cooler. It's right there on the left. Well, yeah, your left, my right. I started to ask this question because I started to feel lost. And after this question was asked to, after that statement was made to me, after I was told about this community eats its own, I had to really think about it. It does. This community has had more wars, more conflicts, more anything than even the United States has had in the last 200 years. How the fuck is that possible? How? It makes absolutely no sense. The conflicts, the battles, the nonsense. Like, I'm also exaggerating when I said about the 200 years. So please don't quote me on that. Because I know some people are like, well, you see, I'm going to get a fucking social studies book and get back at him. Yeah, okay, get back at me. I mean, I'm exaggerating for a reason. Because this community can do better. But it's not going to do better until we're no longer arguing and fighting over whose trauma is worse. How is a place that's supposed to be healing from trauma using trauma as a currency? Seriously, that's really what it is. Because what builds public points in this community? But those sharing their trauma, those making those issues and problems happen. Why is this community like a Mean Girls Club? And why is it perpetuated by people who should be using their clout in the community for something good? Think about it. In the last 4 to 5 years, every single person that has ever gotten clout in this community has gone out of their way to somehow bull torch the entire community. Like, full on just take a fucking flamethrower with the fucking gasoline pack and just... How many people have burned Earth? And then I look at myself and I'm constantly saying, I have to be a shining example. But am I? Am I really? That's awfully fucking pretentious. That's a very pretentious thought created by me. That is a very pretentious thought. Why the fuck do I think that I am such an upperclassman that would actually create a better worth for everyone else when we're still doing the same shit? We're still going out here telling each other that my trauma is worse than stomping the shit out of someone for it. How many times have we been in this community and had things blown out of proportion for the dumbest of shit? For instance, recently, wasn't there a situation, I'm pretty sure I did not imagine this, but there was a situation in which someone actually went online, was this person took a picture outside, shame and ridicule them. Why the fuck? They should be cast out of the community. Okay, for what? Because they took a picture out in public at a playground. Okay, how many playgrounds actually have people at them anymore? People don't go to playgrounds anymore. We have a shit ton of playgrounds here. Nobody goes to them. They are empty. Very few of those playgrounds ever have people at them. You want to know why? Because there aren't that many people willing to let their kids go out and do that shit anymore. Plus, the pictures that are being taken aren't pictures that are being taken at at a time where anyone is there. And it's quite clear from the picture being taken. Yet, for some fucking reason, everybody is going out of their way to try to shame and destroy someone. Someone took a picture at an empty business district, on the weekend when nobody's at the business district. There are places in cities like that, right? Where the business district is closed. And people are just oh, okay, well, I'll take a picture here. And they do. And then when they take the picture, they go and do what? They post it online, look, I took a picture here. And then everyone's shame on you, you fucking piece of shit. And it's what the fuck just happened? How did we get here? And then the question is why are you shaming or attacking this person? Because they took a picture out in public. Oh, okay. Well, was this anybody else in the picture? No. So then why the fuck are you angry? Because, and it makes no sense. But then you have an actual company that does porn that legitimately did a fucking photo shoot in a park with people around. The girl is literally fucking topless, wearing nothing but a diaper and a fucking bonnet and a baby bib at a park on a blanket with everyone there. And nobody saw a fucking problem with that? Not a single fucking word was ever spoken about it. Not a goddamn word. Everyone is just like... But the guy who doesn't have any fucking standing whatsoever, who has done absolutely the fuck nothing, all of a sudden that's perfectly fine? This is the same, how the fuck does this community function? How? Explain. I need charts and graphs, motherfucker. I need someone to sit down with me, like if I am needing math tutoring, and explain to me the fucking logic of this. Explain. If you're going to get mad at someone taking photos outside, then get mad at the ones that are taking photos in front of non-consenting adults. Or, in this particular case, could have been taking pictures in front of kids. Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Everyone's like, I didn't know about what. That's the thing that I don't understand. If you're going to go online and start fishing for shit, then why not go and do it on an honest basis? Instead of constantly bitching and whining and complaining about something that has no fucking purpose. I don't understand. I don't understand. And it bothers the fuck out of me. It does. How the fuck do we end up in situations where people will jump down the throats of members of this community for some of the dumbest of shit, and then when something critical happens, crickets. Crickets. Because it has nothing to do with actually giving a damn about the community. It's all about my trauma being more than yours. It's all about wanting that clout so I can stomp the next person down. Everyone is constantly feeling out their beefs. As if we're in a high school. Granted, it's kind of funny that this would be the community to do that. But after that comment was said, this community eats its own. And it does. It does. So, little tidbit and point. Did you guys know that there is a website that has existed since 1995 that actually tries to perpetuate that like pedophiles should be around children? Did you guys know that actually existed? Did you know that there are fragments of every kink community in there? Did you know that existed? I actually ended up finding out about this, ironically, from a YouTube video. I actually found out about this from a YouTube video. It is some of the grossest shit I've ever seen. And it is absolutely fucking insane. Where there are, and when I say pieces of every community, I mean pieces. It's not like... So let me explain that. Let me explain that comment. When I say pieces, I mean there is actual fragments, like little chunks of people who are outliers of all these different communities, right? You have age-re people in that fucking group. You have fucking age play people in that fucking group. You even have feet, BDSM, and you findoming, sugaring, all that shit. All of it is all right there in that group. There are people who are in local communities who you do not know that are sitting right there in that group, right? That is fucking insane. By the way, that said group not only pushes the idea of pedophilia being okay, but remember the comments that the right wing was making a couple of years ago about them trying to add pedos to LGBT, that bullshit claim? That's where they were getting it from. They were actually getting it from that group, and they were actually getting it from some of the people in said group who claim to be LGBT with no fucking evidence that they are. And then they throw it around willy-nilly and then try to say, oh yeah, but we really want to push this. And then start agreeing with wanting to have pedos to be around kids. It's fucking insane. It is absolutely fucking insane. I listened to this, and at the end of the video, I was like, what the fuck did I just learn? What? Wow. What the fuck did I just learn? There are age-re people pushing this fucking notion, who are pushing people to be groomed, because age-re has become a religion. Didn't you know? No, I really am not joking. It actually is a pseudo-religion. You really listen to the religious zealots of that fucking community. But not every age-re person agrees with those sentiments, right? Not every age player is one of these people. A matter of fact, I guarantee you that all of these people are the ones that get ignored. They are the ABDL, they are the weirdos in the ABDL community that are even weird by our standards. Guaranteed. Because a lot of those pages have, like, there are ABDL pages on Twitter that are really sketch. And you run into them every so often, and they constantly post children every so often. That's a huge thing on like some of those accounts on Facebook, those fake ABDL accounts on Facebook. A lot of them post that shit. And it's just pedophiles that have their own accounts. It's good to keep monitoring that shit and make sure that you fucking block them. Because they are serious goddamn problems. And it is ridiculous. Facebook is probably has a contingent of the community on it, and like they're constantly having to monitor some of these accounts. They're constantly having to monitor these accounts and try to block them with everything they got. My point that I am making is, why does the community spend time trying to destroy itself when it should be protecting itself from threats like that? Threats like the people on that page. Trying to better the community's, the understanding of the community versus, I don't like that bitch. Why are we doing that? Why are we talking more with our trauma than actually being healed? The way that I see it is, when I first came into this community was always about consent amongst adults and no minors should ever be in this community, ever. And it has stayed like that. But then more rules started getting added. And those rules have to do with a lot of these people who instead use their clout to go and destroy other people. I don't understand. Like, the community spends more time arguing over superficial shit, not superstition, superficial shit, than they do defending the community from threats like that website I was talking about. It is fucking crazy, man. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because I stated in a previous podcast, we're better than this. Yet we still have people doing this shit. Do you know that one of the things that irritates the fuck out of me, and I really, really want to point this out, why are there T-boards? Why are there T-boards? Explain to me why the fuck that's a thing. Why are there T-boards? It makes no fucking sense that we have T-boards. Like I said earlier, we're supposed to be beating our trauma, right? So why are we inflicting more trauma onto people? By going onto T-boards and fucking spewing out all the nasty shit that we possibly think about each other? Why the fuck are we doing that? Someone asked me recently, I think it was like last year. Oh, did you know that, have you been on the T-boards? Have you seen some of the things that they said about you? I really don't care. However, to do this episode, I actually did go and read some of the T-boards. And I had a good laugh, actually. Some of these motherfuckers have no goddamn lives. The T-board was to air out people's grievances that they had with other ABs in the community. As if that's going to solve something. It doesn't do shit for anybody. However, Jesus Christ. I was reading some of these T's, and I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with anybody? What does that have to do with anything? Tumblr, the T-boards on Tumblr have never been good. They're always arguing something dumb. Something dumb. And then, some of them are just exists for people to self-flagellate themselves. It's insane. So, one T-board I noticed talked shit on someone that I know personally in the community, right? And I'm just reading this shit, and I am like, this poor girl has had so much shit happen to her, and she's been through a lot of shit. There's all this fucking just terrible shit in the community, and motherfuckers are just posting shit like, I don't know why she takes pictures. She's just gonna grow old and die. What the fuck? Like, okay, why is it that all you sex workers do all this sex working photos? Why don't you get a real job? How is that benefiting the community? You know, when you get old and you're like 40, you're gonna look fucking terrible, and no one's gonna buy your shit, and then you're just gonna be homeless. Holy fuck. Where is that negativity from? The T-boards are no different than 4chan. I don't understand why this community is creating tea and posting it on this shit like an episode of Gossip Girl. It's like, what the fuck? Here's another thing, right? This was one of my favorite things. Mind you, I found this board, right? Literally a month or two ago. A month or two ago. I sat down and read all of this shit and laughed at some of the shit that was about me. And I was like, what? One person was like, I met him and he is always like trying to be the center of attention. No, I'm not. I'm literally not. I literally tried at Capcom to find a room by myself so that I could play with action figures away from everyone else because I didn't want to interrupt everybody else's fucking playtime. I didn't want my game to make them feel inadequate. I did not want to be there with them. I just wanted to play in peace. Did not get much of a chance, but I did get at least an hour and a half. I was able to find one room, and then I'm playing with toys and people kept asking me what I was saying to them, and I was like, no, I am playing with action figures, leave me alone. And they're just like, oh. And then they all start chatting again, only to ask me that same question like 20 minutes later. And I'm just like, ah. That is, whatever. It's like, I seen him at Capcom, and yeah, he's always full of himself. I wonder if that's the asshole that I actually offered to buy a drink for, and they refused me, and I tried to have a nice conversation with them, only for them to go to one of my friends and decide to start spewing shit about me to them, only to have said friend come to me and tell me all about it. The fuck? And under no circumstances did I go out and attack this person. And I don't plan to. Water under the bridge. I just don't talk to them. Because that's two-faced shit. My point is that that's irrelevant. That person does not matter. Does not matter. At all. Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody. And a lot of people, this is psychologically damaging to them. This is the type of shit that will put people in a mental institution. But these people don't care. Because, once again, a community that's supposed to be about trauma and healing from it is causing the trauma and trying to damage the person next to them. What is the purpose of this? How did we get here? How did we get here? That we have this shit on T-boards and shit. Another funny one that I remember from the T-board is that I was accused of... No. I have to laugh at this shit. Someone who is a fan of this podcast went onto the T-board and bragged about me? And I'm thinking, why? Why would you do that? And only for everyone in the T-board who's like, I fucking hate him. He's a piece of shit. And I'm like, what? Only for everyone in that T-board to join my side and to team up with me, or I shouldn't even say team up. For everyone in that T-board to suddenly become on my side with the Riley incident. The fuck? See what I mean? It's not about tearing down. We're supposed to be healing from trauma, not continuing it. Yet for some reason, we're not getting any better. We're actually getting progressively worse. We are a community of people with different types of backgrounds and problems and family issues. Why are we trying to make it worse for everybody? Makes no sense. It's stupid. But when you think about it, this community does eat its own. It does. People in this community don't actually try to help one another. They try to fish for your dirty secrets so that they can use it to attack you and feel bigger than you. That's not what the community is for. The whole point is to heal and grow. But if a person heals and grows, why are you attacking them for it? It makes no fucking sense. Like, it's baffling. Like, this community will attack someone. Okay, so I'm going to take the context of something and remove the people involved, right? I'm just going to remove the people involved and give an example of something that this community still to this day has issues with. Let's and what I mean by having issues with, I mean as in people keep following the same pattern and you have to start questioning why they're doing this shit. Okay? Let's do this. Someone releases something that is very unpopular, right? It is an unpopular kink. Someone else released it, right? Now, mind you, the video with the kink was paid for by the person who, there is someone that paid for this video, right? Paid for it. Asked for it to be done, paid for it and everything. Held on to said video only to release it several years later to try to damage the person that they bought it from. And the entire community, like fucking moths to the flame, go rushing in to attack the person who made the video and not the person who re-released it. The person who re-released it was more of the issue than the person that made it. Because the person that made said video no longer makes those videos and has a completely different view on life. But this community, as fucking stupid as it is, because, you know, age players for some reason can't have the brain capacity that goes past first grade. They all came to the conclusion that, yeah, this should have never been made, only for them to go out there and start suffering from what is called white guilt. I can't. Like, if we're going to move forward and do better and do more things in this community, we got to stop the drama hunting. That's got to stop. Honestly, I personally think that if people want a drama hunt in this community, you don't deserve to be in the community. You're not here to protect the community. You're not here to actually try to fix it. You're here to destroy it. It's the same reason why whenever I go to the places and whenever I see people, I don't bring the drama with me. I don't. Man, this is fucking weird. So we're going to go to break, and I'm going to do something, right? To try to explain, I guess there will be a third segment after all. I'm going to talk about something that's more personal to me, right? And I want people to understand that there are some traumas that even I still have not healed from. I still have traumas that this community has given me. I also have traumas that other communities have given me. I'm going to talk about my trauma for once. Something that I really need, I would like to get off my chest so that we can be on an even scale, I guess. So, yeah, there will be a content warning for the next segment. We'll be right back after the break.